Hi, boys and girls. As you know, we are learning about the Italian Renaissance this month in art. And one of the project choices that you can do this month is a Renaissance building. You'll notice these tall columns. I'm going to teach you how to make those columns and how to make some straight lines. So keep watching and I will show you how to make some Renaissance buildings. All right, so I recorded myself off screen doing the first step. I'm going to play back the video and I'm going to explain what's going on here. So first of all, there are 3 different types of columns you would see in a Renaissance building, an old building. And I put the types of columns on the side here. You'll notice that I'm using my ruler and I'm simply just tracing the ruler to get the shape of the column. We're going to be making at least 3. So I am carefully tracing my ruler 3 times, and make sure when you do this that all of your columns are the same height. So I made all of mine about 7 inches tall. It's very important for our building to be straight. So make sure you're using the measurements of the ruler and measuring up to a certain point. I made 7 inches. Then I went ahead, I capped them off to put the tops, and now I'm going to draw the top of the decorations. You can choose one of the 3 types here. For this example, I am drawing the Doric column, but you can also choose to do the Ionic with the swirl, or you can make your own Corinthian column, which is super fancy. So you'll notice that I'm putting in all of my details, all of my lines, and I took a moment off screen to grab what do you think I'm grabbing? Take a guess. What could I use? What do you think it might be? What do you think it might be? Where is it? And, oh, it really took me a long time to find it. There it is, a white crayon. So I'm going to be coloring some white over my construction paper drawing. And this is because a lot of Renaissance buildings have columns that are almost white, but they have a little bit of a color underneath. The examples here have blue underneath, so that's why I did that. Now I'm grabbing a blue crayon and I'm carefully adding just a little bit of shadow along the edges. You can do this with a blue or with a purple as well. And you're going to do that 3 times for your columns. 3 times for your columns. Once you're done, then we're going to look at some of our Renaissance buildings and we're going to think about, okay, now that I have my 3 columns, how can I make this into the side? We call that the facade of the building. How can I make something that looks like one of these? Here's a few more examples of Renaissance architecture. It's very fancy and you've probably seen buildings like this. So once again, here are my completed columns. I have 2 different examples here. I did the Doric and the Ionic with the little swirl. I like using the little swirl. You only have to do 3. I just wanted to give you some examples. When you're done, you're going to cut them out, okay? So you notice the first thing I did here. I cut them out and I put them along some blue paper. Then I used my second sheet of paper to make a triangle. That part of the building is called the tympanum. That's the part of the building on the front, on top of the columns. I also made some stairs. And then I used my crayon to add some details to the stairs, to the tympanum I added some triangles, and then you could be creative and add your own details as well. Okay, I noticed that a lot of Renaissance buildings have little statues on them, so I put a little lion statue. You can put things like that and be creative once the facade of your building and your 3 columns are done. So those are your instructions. I encourage you to take your time, pause the video as much as you can, and please try your best to make all of your lines straight so that your building looks nice and sturdy. I'm looking forward to seeing what you make.